All right, so I want to have really good structure, but instead of being like here, come out here and take a really strong, noticeable position. He takes a really strong, noticeable position. I can see places where he's pitched. Yeah, don't let me move you. Don't let me move you. Okay, and when it's really overt like that, I can easily see it, right? So you want the ability to move really well, so I bring the feet ever so slightly closer together. Make sure you're good there so that you can do a good squat, that if I'm this way, you can really move out of there. That if I'm up here, same thing. And so now when I come to catch that, you can use that stuff to not be caught. And notice that that now your posture being as strong as it is, it's much more hidden than if you went here where it was overt and I could go, oh, I can see the errors. So I have much more work cut out for me to find the errors. So that would be accurate. On lines of force, if you give me one, like put a hand out there to push me with, and be like, ah! Well, I know where the line of force is, and he's advertising the whole thing, which means come without him like you mean it like that. And if I slip it, it's sort of like, well, there the whole thing is, it's easily come again, right? And so it's really overt like that. And so when I'm coming, I want to make sure that I've maintained my integrity that's somewhat hidden, and I also want my line of force hidden. Right? You notice that it had much more juice to it than you would have thought, versus if I'm here, you wouldn't have been surprised it was that much juice, but you knew where the line of force was much more readily. Right? So the same thing's true in root. If we're both doing this in rooting, right? If he's right there and there's nothing being done to hide it at all, I can find where his root is and I can push it. No problem. Same thing, he can do the same thing to me if I'm right there. So what I do is I try to be I drop it, but instead of it being, okay, this thing, so come and find my root and push me with it. Find it, really find it, and then push it down there. And now that can be hard because the person's making their body heavy, but then when he found it, it was that way, right? And notice you were able to go, okay, that's where it is. So what I want to do is, instead of it being like this, where push me from the side there. Where, oh yeah, you can feel it's down there, so make sure you get down there to the bottom of it enough into the ground to move me. So what I want to do instead is be like, okay, I'm dropping root, but I don't want it to be so obvious, and I want it to be pretty quiet while I'm feeling for his. So come to catch me now, and so now, notice you were having trouble finding mine while I could, through your contact point, feel yours. Uh-oh, and he found mine already because I was up. And find mine. And as he's finding it, I'm moving it down deeper and moving it so that he can't find it. And I keep my shape good and all that. And then he started to tie into it. And notice I just dropped it back out of there. So I went from this way. And I'm doing this here, but I'm turning so you can see me, so you can get what's going on. And I did it so you could see it, but also hid it from him a bit, right? And so what happens when we're in here doing this, and I don't want him to know where I'm at. So when he goes to push in, he's having to search, so that if he searches too much, that becomes an overextension too. And I go, ah, and I just touch him and move him out while he's looking. Now, again, don't start, okay, I got you. No, please. That's not doing you or your partner any good at all. Maybe it feels good for that microsecond, not to me. And I'm talking about if I'm the guy doing it, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm showing them that I can beat them at will easily, but what else am I getting out of this? And the answer for me is 0. So instead, hands on, we both start dropping, and I'm talking like I'm doing right now. We're both dropping. You start slowly. This is the speed, and so a lot of times in the beginning I'm going, look, you try to move me, I'll move you first, you try not to be moved. Here's the speed I'm going to move. I won't move faster. So if you change or anything, that's okay. You can change faster than I'm moving, but not like crazy man. right? And then I'll keep coming. You do have to make sure that and I'm already telling them, hands have to stay where they are, feet have to stay where they are. Hand comes off, foot comes up, that's a loss. So I'm coming that kind of slow, and so I'm feeling all the stuff. I'm feeling for his alignments, I'm feeling for the lines of force he's using to stay put, or to try to push against me a little bit to help him stay put. I'm feeling for where the root is, and a lot of times in the beginning on this, I'll just go straight to root unless they've really got something out of whack, or a big gap that I can feel where there's just nothing to it, and I will get under it and slowly push that, right? And so what I want you to do is to drop root while I'm doing that so that I can't get that place. And he's doing that, and so now I'm having a little more work cut out for me. Now I felt 2 structural places that are off, and I know where a line of force is, really kind of too. And so I'll take one of the structural issues, turn around here so you can see. This shoulder's got it's dipped in right there, and so I felt that, and so now I'm feeding force to it. Not a lot, but as he continues to try to stay, it actually makes it worse and worse and worse in that place. So come in. Yeah, so he's fixed that just now. And that's good. As a partner, you want to keep fixing things on each other to the point that eventually you'll stand there looking like you did in the beginning to the eye, but inside, or if somebody feels you, it's like, good Lord, what have you been doing? You will get an internal physical workout doing this more than you would think, including sore, and you can actually be like laid up from it. When I first started learning this and trying to and shove and stuff, I literally threw my shoulder out for a couple days from it. Okay. And I'm not recommending you do that. I'm just saying that it gives a much greater workout inside your body than most people would conceive of initially. So I'm coming that slow to find him. He's doing everything he can to not be moved and to not give anything up. And if you feel me starting to move you somewhere, you can adjust as long as your hands stay and your feet stay so that you don't get moved. And so I found a structural place that was off right there in his lower back. And so trade me, go that slow and catch me, but that slow. And this is the way I normally start the game off when I've got hands on somebody. I'm doing the feeling where their lines of force are, feeling where the breaks in their structure are, feeling where they've got tensions that are incorrect, and feeling their root, or what root they don't have. So in that case, I'm feeling right underneath the bottom of their feet. Well, they're doing that. And while he's working on me, notice I'm keeping him here. I'm not pushing against him, but I'm not letting him move me anywhere. And if he does something so off that it's just screaming, like where I'm going, you do realize there's an issue right there, like that, I'll give him that much to know that. But otherwise, I'll wait. And they will eventually push themselves off me. And then you use everything you're doing, all that activity. The important part wasn't the end. It was all that activity that went in there and all the little adjustments that went and all the stuff you felt from them while that was going on. That's the juice. That's the part that was really making that worthwhile, and all the things you learned, and so that you can bring that to any other time you play and make and refine all those things that much better. And then you really want a partner who, even though they're doing it slow, is getting better and better at it too, so that they're making it that much tougher on you, and you're having to refine that skill that much more. Okay, so play that, and then we'll do some more. Okay, so on the hiding side of this, what happens is that I want that structure to be not so overt, so that that's hiding. I want my lines of force to be good, push on my hand once, to be all the way through me to my foot, come again, to my foot, but yet soft, so that it's not so easy for him to figure out where it's at, or if he starts to take it offline, starts to try to offline it somewhere that I'm really not putting so much gird to it that I end up overextending, that I'm very good where I'm at. And I want my root drop to be quiet enough, and while I'm listening to him, so that he has a hard time tracking that. So I'm hiding all this stuff, while at the same time reading him to whatever your level of ability is, right? And so I'm working on hiding that stuff by making it quiet, by making it, when I say small, I don't mean small like I'm not moving it very much. I mean, I'm not moving externally very much. Internally, it's quite a bit, but it's not this. Feel that? Yeah, you could, I drop like that, and you go, oh, there it is, and move me out. And so that was sort of loud on the internal side. Now, a lot of times if they can't feel anything, I'll do it like that at first, so that my partner goes, oh man, yeah, I feel that. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing now, but much softer and quieter. So that then they really have their work cut out for them to feel it. And if they chase it, then they're being sort of obvious and loud. In other words, I can feel them chasing it. Then I know exactly where to push them. So you work on hiding your stuff and finding all their stuff at the same time.